Thank you for tuning in to another podcast. My name is Michael Kyan, the General Manager of the gym group Pioneer Point, and today's podcast is entitled Get Your Head in the Game. I'm not going to lie to you, this podcast has been influenced by a video I listened to today, and if you want to check that video out, it is entitled The Most Important Lesson from 83,000 Brain Scans. It is a very in-depth TEDx discussion from psychologist Daniel Amen. The discussion looks at brain activity for different people. Someone who has OCD, for instance, shows huge amounts of brain activity which causes rushes of thoughts that the individual is often overwhelmed with, causing the stressful symptoms of overcompulsive disorder. It also shows brain scans highlighting brain activity from people that suffer from things like Alzheimer's or depression. It was so fascinating to see all the different difficulties people can face, all depending on the state of this one organ that sits in people's heads. So much of what we do, say, feel or believe all comes from the activity that goes on inside our brains, and how the brain functions depends highly on our experience of life. How remarkable that the brain is in a constant state of learning, adapting, and always changing. Daniel Amen also mentions our ability to impact our brain's activity levels. He said that we were able to impact the amount of power the brain uses. So I was left with the question, how can we train our brain to love and commit to a healthier lifestyle? Because wouldn't that be amazing? Having a mind that tells us to go to the gym or eat healthier, instead of thoughts that tell us to give up or give in. I also find it interesting that we can observe our thoughts, because so often we get so caught up in our thinking that we forget our thoughts are not actually us. They are the mental noise our brains are generating based on its state at that moment. If you're in a good state, feeling positive and things are going well, you'll find yourself motivated and committed to everything necessary to achieve your fitness goals. But what happens when your mind is in a negative state? All of a sudden the thoughts it is generating are not so helpful. Getting your head in the game is not always easy, but when you do not feel great or have been battling some negative thoughts, realize that there is actually some neuroactivity happening inside of your head that is making you feel that way, and that is absolutely fine and absolutely changeable. There are 4 steps I want you to try and see if your mental activity changes, even slightly. Because if we can work a little every day at improving our mental state, then we will see continued progress. And believe it or not, our mental state is always changing, because it is always being fed by things around us. So take conscious action to feed it some positivity and watch your body follow. Step 1. Stay off your phone during rest time. The only time you should be checking your phone is for important messages or maybe changing song. Other than that, using your phone to scroll or mindlessly waste time is feeding into the habit to be mentally disengaged. Instead, spend some time to feel some of the sensations going on in your body. Feel the sensation of your blood filling your muscles or your heart rate elevating and pounding in your chest. These are biological changes that are making you healthier, and if you think about it, are quite amazing. Step 2. Observe some of the thoughts that arise when you are resting between sets. These thoughts give quite an insight into the emotional state your body has been in. If you are thinking stressful thoughts, then it is clear that that has been the state of your body for the past few days. You can then come up with an idea of how you can solve what needs your attention, or get in the habit of letting go of things that are out of your control. Step 3. Get your head in the game by developing on the mind-muscle connection. If you are focusing on moving weight, it is easy for your body to forget form and do whatever it needs to do in order for that weight to be moved. Instead, develop on this idea of mind-muscle connection. When you get a better idea of how the skeleton moves and how to target and isolate certain parts of the body, then it is a lot easier to feel the body during a session. When you feel the body move, you are also improving the issue of allowing your mind to wander, maybe to something that is going to stress you out, and instead focus on what is actually happening right now. The final step, step 4. There is a strong connection between our physiology and our mind. If you have thoughts that are quite anxious, then you will see it on your body. You will also see changes inside of your body, changes in your breathing, heart rate and functioning. In the same way, you can use your body to influence your mind. If you smile, stand tall and open yourself, it is proven that you will then have more positive thoughts. If you frown, close yourself off, or even constantly listen to aggressive music, then this is going to impact your mind. I think it is so important to give attention to our brains. They control everything, and with some care and mindful gym sessions, you can turn this incredible machine into something that works for you rather than against you. Thank you again, as always, for listening, and please do comment, subscribe, and get talking to us about your experience in the gym. Where does your mind go when you're training, and are you able to keep your head in the game?